What's up to business news and other shit? Here we are with my peeps. How y'all doing today?
What's going on?
Very wonderful.
Man, I'm way higher energy than you all.
Yeah, you are.
Tito, you got the sunglasses going today.
Hell yeah, always.
I feel like you're like the Puerto Rican Stevie Wonder.
I wish I had Stevie Wonder money.
That's the voice of Tito.
What's up?
I don't know your last name.
Nah, it's Jordan Sid. I don't use it in
I
anything.
see it on Facebook, and I'm like, is that his last name?
Yeah, it's Jordan Sid.
Ah.
And I don't really feel like telling people my name because, one, it doesn't matter. I don't really think it matters.
Okay.
Like, my last name doesn't matter. But Jordan Sid is combined my dad and my mom. So in Latin culture, you have both your dad and your mom's names.
For real?
But when we moved to this country, they didn't want us to have two names, so my dad combined it with a hyphen.
Who's they? Your parents?
Yeah, my dad.
Okay.
And then so it like my last name is Jordan Sid, but we combine it's Jordan Sid. But like when white people say it, they go like Jurassic, and I'm just tired of that shit.
Oh, dude, that's my. I mean, I got that whole bit. You've probably heard it about my name, Amr.
Yeah. So
You know,
I just cut it
when
down to Tito. Just call me Tito.
Tito.
There's no one else in the comedy scene.
I literally had a
goes by
third
Tito.
grade substitute teacher be like, "What? How do I pronounce your name?" And I'm like, "It's Amr." Eric.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
I get
Amr."
that.
He's like, "All right, sit down, Eric." And I was like, at lunch, I just slashed his tires.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
That's right, brother.
I don't have pronunciation name drama. I have made fun of name drama.
Oh, really?
My last name is Wimp.
Oh, yeah.
Every bouncer in the history of the universe has asked me if I got beat up for that last name as a child.
Why bouncers in particular ask
I
you
don't
that?
know. Well, because they check your ID.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then they start to have a
General,
That's
conversation.
not that bad.
but it's
It-
mostly bouncers.
So wait, by the way, that's the voice of Patrick J. Wimp?
No. M.
Patrick M. Wimp. What's up, Patrick?
What's going on? I'm
Drinking from your Batman mug.
Got to do it.
Yo, man, Patrick is a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Patrick is a creative entrepreneur.
Ooh.
Patrick is a producer, runs his own production studio.
Dang.
And guess what? Patrick be teaching at all around the Chicago universities.
Good for you, man.
Screenwriting, cinematography, directing. Did I get all
You
these
got
right?
it. Yeah, you got it. Kind
That's
of
right,
whatever's available, it gets thrown my way.
And how we ended up with Patrick on this show,
I don't know, bro. It's your show.
we lucky. Thanks for being here, bro.
I'm happy to be here.
For you, it's another story, man.
Yeah.
Actually, we're lucky to have you too, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Thank you for being here.
Tito came in at the last minute.
For real.
I came in just be like, hey, bro, put me on your show. And then you were like, all right, can you be here in like an hour? And I was like, oh, man, I didn't think it was going to be that quick.
Yeah, you know some shit like, I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, it was
though.
like, yo, I got a gym thing. I got I got to work. And then I was like, screw it. Let's go.
It's good that you're here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk to you, Patrick, and learn some shit about you, learn some shit from you. You can teach us a little bit how to make some money if we're in the world of business.
Sure.
We can think
Money.
about that, how we can invest in ourselves, in our business, maybe. I mean, you got this, right? You got this gift. How long have you been doing this total? How long have you been creating content total?
So as a content creator, filmmaker in the broad sense of the word, a little over 12 years.
Word.
I've been doing that.
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's not a joke. That's nothing to sneeze at in Chicago. You're like a rare breed.
I haven't died yet.
No, thank God. Knock on wood, baby. No, yeah. So there's not many people that can say that in Chicago, dude. In LA, sure. New York, absolutely. Chicago,
Yeah, content creators here. I mean, there's some, but not a lot. 12 years in the game is
No.
is a long time.
that's why they got you teaching that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, for sure.
12 years. All right, now I also saw something about you that you are the first graduate from DePaul's MFA program in what? Cinema?
In digital cinema.
Digital cinema.
Ooh.
Which that and a bag of chips. Get you a bag of chips.
Is that what that gets you?
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, you're the first to graduate or some shit. They're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if you're looking at me or not. With those sunglasses, I'm not sure if
Man, that's
Puerto
the
Rican
point.
Stevie Wonder is...
I'm always playing poker, baby. You don't know where I'm at.
La, 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 la,
There you
all right, cool. So let's get into this, y'all.
Yeah, sounds good.
business news. What's going on? There's really only one thing for me to talk about right now.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right? If we're talking stocks,
Uh-oh.
all right. Do you do any invest? Have you ever done any investing?
I've done
Tito?
investing. I've made some major mistakes.
You have?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, can't wait to hear about this shit.
Yeah.
Patrick, what about you? You do some investing?
I'm mutual funds and retirement stuff, but nothing.
There you go.
I don't do stocks.
That's you are doing stocks.
Right.
Yeah.
You,
let
what you mean
someone
is you're
else
not gambling
Yeah,
with
yeah,
individual
yeah.
names.
Correct.
Yeah. What
Mutual
I
funds.
what I recommend to people is if you're gonna gamble with names, know that you're doing it for fun.
Yeah.
You're trying to learn more about how corporations work. That's what you're really doing. When you're reading the reports and you're reading the news, you're learning a ton
That's not
about
fun,
business.
bro.
I mean, hey man, a lot of people like that shit.
Extra homework.
Yeah.
A lot of people love that shit because
No, I get it. Yeah.
the reality is a corporation is a group of human beings that are trying to act
Yep.
like a team.
Yep.
And if they're a really good team, they usually make a shitload of money.
Yep.
Unless they're Halliburton, in that case, they're
They
just
invest in more people.
raping people,
Yeah. Invest in murdering people.
murdering people. So, all right. So you all invest in some way. You've made some mistakes. You're doing the
Yeah.
long game, Patrick. That's basically what I'm about. I'm like, yo, put 80-90% of your money in the long game. If you got 100 grand, put 80 grand in the long game. Take that extra 20 grand if you want.
You mean put 20% in the long game?
20% in the long game?
Or
Well,
80.
like the 60-20. No, there's two
okay.
things. No,
Gotcha.
there's two things. So there's a 60-20-20. I'm saying, take 20% of your
Oh,
paycheck.
yeah, gotcha.
Put that in the market, period. Of that 20%,
I see.
right? I usually tell people, just put it all in mutual funds or in index funds, low-cost index funds. That's what I really prefer is low-cost index funds because over time they're way cheaper. And if you really gotta try and buy GE or buy Apple
Like
or
a blue
buy
chip.
Netflix or whatever, you can even buy a pink sheets. You could buy a tiny company. You're like,
Right.
yo, I think they got the new
The
cream that
new-
you can
new.
rub on your.
Yeah.
Uh,
They got that new.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
rub on your feet to make them bigger. You can invest in that, but just don't be investing big amounts of money.
Nah, man. I can't invest no money. I don't even know what you're talking about. Dude.
So
I made some mistakes, bro. Stocks.
So the big story, right, is this trade war, right?
Oh,
It's pretty much official, guys. Like I don't think people appreciate this, how big of a deal this is. Like we are in a war right
It's
now.
on.
It's a cold war.
Is it on?
But it's pretty much on.
You think we're going to win? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, it's a good question. I honestly don't know China. I don't think anyone knows China well enough to say whether we can win or not.
I don't want China to flex. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like I
right,
feel like
right.
I don't want China to flex. That's like pissing Steph Curry off. You feel me? Like they're like he good, but if you get him mad, that's it. That's it for your team.
He just starts shooting shit.
It's
from,
over.
From like he'd be a
45 feet.
couple, 3 feet behind the line. He'll be dropping shit.
Yeah, no,
10 feet behind the line.
Right.
I don't even know what is gonna happen. I'm not too familiar with the situation. I just know that that Trump wants to start this fight with them. He has some understanding because he did the buildings and he knows about material
Infrastructure.
and
You
infrastructure.
got a little bit of understanding.
And right, so but other than that, I
But
really
this isn't about that.
can't
This
trust
is
him.
this is about Donald Trump feeling like our country,
Mm-hmm.
is getting shafted in our friendship with China, right? So
Could
we
be.
do a lot of trade with China.
Could be.
All right, and our economy indirect. So we do a lot of trade with China. Like I think it's upwards of 700-800 billion total in trade with China. It's a big
Mhm.
number, but it's only like I don't know.
A little percentage.
It's a low percentage of
Yeah.
our GDP, maybe 1 or 2 or 2+%, something like that. So it's not. It doesn't. It's like water off a duck's back. We lose that, great. But that's not how the world works.
Right.
It's a super global economy. A third of our economy, right? A third of our economy. I think our GDP is $20 trillion. That's how many goods and services we produce a year. A third of that is linked in some way to international trade,
Of course.
right? So the iPhone is going to show up in our numbers, but guess what? It's so linked to what they need from China. So this war is real, right? And why do I? And so it's like a wet blanket on stocks right now. Stocks do not like this trade war. They do not like uncertainty. Our world has moved so quickly into the globalized world that the stock market is not dumb. They know this shit when it hits the fan is not a good situation.
So it's a good time to buy.
We're gonna talk about that,
Right? I mean, that would kind of
this
make
is-
sense,
yeah,
right?
So the stocks this year have been upwards of 17-18% in 4.5-5 months. That's a huge number.
Right.
May they're down about 4%. So we've given some of that back. So instead of being up 17%, they're up 13%. Still a great banner year.
That's pretty good.
Still pretty good,
I was
right?
gonna say that's pretty good.
It's good. So I think with this war being legit, they're gonna go down more.
They'll start dipping.
And this is where now people, this is where the men
Bitcoin's gonna rise, baby.
or as my mom, as my Middle Eastern mom likes to call Bitcoin.
Hey. We'll see what happens.
It's already started rising, by the way.
Yeah, I was
Bitcoin
gonna say,
this past
I
week.
I sold it, and I feel bad for selling it.
Oh, really?
I sold it.
Yeah, I bought it a long time ago. I've been hanging on to it.
Yeah, I just sold it.
I think it's one of those things where you buy a little bit of it. This is what I recommend to people.
Like
you buy a little bit
overtime.
of it. No, even just buy a piece right now. $2,000, $3,000, whatever you can afford, $200, and just park it and forget about it.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
like a 20, 40 year.
20 years. It's like buying Google in the year 1990 or
Yeah,
2000.
That'd be nasty. Yeah.
Right? If you put $100 in Google in 1990, well, I don't know what it's worth. My guess is that $100 will probably be worth over $1 million.
Although if you got the Bitcoin when it was like a penny,
Even
you
more.
sell that shit.
Yeah. Oh, right now? Yeah, you could, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take.
But yeah, if you put $100 in Bitcoin right now, and I told you in 2039 it's gonna be worth $1 million, you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna put $100.
Yeah, done deal.
Right?
I don't even know if I'm gonna be around, but yeah.
Right. Only God knows.
Only God knows.
Only God can judge me.
Yeah.
Now. All right. So stocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wet blanket on stocks. I think this is where the men get separated from the boys. You know what I'm saying? This is where, like, Warren Buffett. I say this quote almost every week.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Buffett has this quote: "When people are being greedy, you want to be scared.
Yeah.
And when people are starting to get scared,
I want to be greedy.
you want to be greedy, baby.
right.
You
Hell
got
yeah.
it." And so, guess what's about the? I think we're in the first inning. It feels like of a legit trade cold war. That's what we're in, and so that's what's up right now. So why do I think? I don't know if you guys have kept up with this, but why do I think we're in a legit war?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's what's going on. These guys were about to sign an agreement 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And China, this was going on for over like 8-9 months where they're negotiating. China at the last minute backed out.
Yep.
And they said like, yo, we don't agree to these terms.
Yep.
And I think that was calculated by China.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I think their economy is going to get hit. But President Xi Jinping yesterday and the day before went on a tour of China. He went to various parts of China, basically rallying the citizen troops.
Hyping everybody up.
Hyping everyone up.
You're not gonna beat them.
No, they know something.
No, dude, it's Chinese, bro. This is all I know. Like,
I feel like we need to we got to get the censor ready right now.
yo,
What do you know about Chinese?
Chinese
Tell us the stereotypes you know.
Chinese culture, I feel, plays generational games. They don't play this like 4 year. That's what they say. They don't like about our system of democracy is that every 4 years we almost switch a new lane. And they have like one ideal. That's why they like that Xi Jinping, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna be here for a minute,
Right?
because he's like, we're gonna make decisions. We're just gonna ride this out for the next
just
20,
changed
30.
the rules.
Yeah,
He's like, yo, all right, you guys elected me. I ain't going anywhere.
yeah, yo, I'm here to stay.
He passed that law. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But they like it because they like consistency and stability, even if it's like
Same dude.
yeah, same 50 years. So at least they have one plan that they can stick to, and they will outlive Trump for sure, easily. So that's their game.
In 1934, right? In 1934, I think it's called there's like the Nationalist Party in China, and there was the Communist Party in China.
Right.
Right. And the Nationalist Party had, I think, ousted the Communists pretty much. And the Communists were reeling, like they were not in a good situation. And they showed up in this city somewhere in China, and they began what they call the Long March. And slowly but surely, in 15 years, they did this 4,000-mile march. Yep. All in the name of reclaiming the government. The Communist Party did this.
Wow.
The communist people. And they did it. And after that was 1934. In 1949, they reclaimed the throne for whatever, the seat from the Nationalists.
We got that Game of Thrones.
Oh, man, it's all over my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Danny thought she had that shit.
Yeah, so if Trump thinks he's going to outsmart this type of mentality, even if the strategy he has right now, he thinks is better, but they will outlast. They will just be like, cool.
So get this.
It's your stock game, right? Long game.
Yeah.
Long game, right. So get this. Xi Jinping yesterday went to the city where they began that long march, cameras and everything with him, and said, we are now in a new long march. Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're gonna win, bro. They're gonna win. They just, they will work us, outwalk us, out whatever.
The moment I saw Xi Jinping do that shit, I was like, these guys, number one, are for real. This is a real war. They had this shit planned.
Yeah.
And number two, we got to get ready because this is gonna affect the globe. It's not gonna affect one or two things. It's gonna affect the globe. So much shit goes through China. So many like when Apple was like figuring out who's gonna create our stuff, are we gonna go to Taiwan? Are we gonna go to Vietnam? They went to China. China knew their shit. Yeah. They now give over blueprints and we need you to do this. We need you to like that takes years to figure that shit out and to get the people on board. Like you can't just start that overnight. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it has an impact on the globe in a big way. The other thing is, right, China don't mess around. 5G, this new technology is coming, right? That's going to be a huge deal. Yeah. Autonomous cars are going to need 5G. Robots in factories are going to need 5G. It's going to change the world. Guess who has the most patents out of any company or country? China,
Rhetorical question.
Right.
Yeah,
China, we dropped the ball, America, on 5G. These guys have figured out and engineered 5G, and everyone has to basically, in some way or other, go through China to get that technology.
And they're building that new railroad path or whatever, that new
Belt and Rail.
That they're just throughout Africa, throughout Europe, throughout everything's gonna be connected through China, and they're giving these loans that they know these countries can't pay back, so they just be like, we'll just take care of it.
You know your shit, damn.
Yeah, they're also building.
Are you sure you're not Chinese? Are you half Puerto Rican, half Chinese?
Yo, bro. So I was in the Panama Canal.
Ooh. You were
like 2 years ago. Yeah, and there's like the original canal that the U.S. built, but China bought a bunch of land.
They're gonna build a second,
and they got another canal that they're building that's double the size to get bigger ships through there, and they're gonna run it.
Where's that?
In Panama.
Oh, in Panama.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they're about to reroute the U.S.
Yo, there's gonna be a second Panama Canal.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
They try to go.
Is there gonna be any Panama left by the time this shit's over?
Ain't nobody gonna know what a Panama is.
Just a canal.
It's just a canal.
Everyone's gonna move to like narrowing countries. It's gonna be a big hole where Panama used to be.
Yeah, man. They play long games, bro.
So so the second thing, right? So there's a lot of rare earth minerals that only China has and mines that we use in our cell phones and in other technology. Only China can get that, right? They basically have a monopoly on that. Guess where Xi Jinping went the next day?
To the mines.
He went to the mines.
Wow.
He told them, hunker down, y'all. We about to do some shit.
Winter has come.
Yeah, right.
Winter has come.
Head for the Crips.
Yeah. That's a terrible fucking decision. Yeah.
But did you see me at Blackwater? I should be outside. That was my best Peter Dinklage.
That was your best.
Tyrion.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's dude. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, whatever this guy Trump, whether you're a fan or not, he can't be trusted. And
this is gloom and doom right now.
Yeah, this kid can't be trusted. He doesn't know anything, man. He's just all talk. Yeah. He's about to put us in a predicament. We're about to hit a recession soon.
He in the 80s, right? He would be quoted a lot in the newspapers about. He would talk a lot of shit about Japan when Japan was kind of up and coming. Right. Nissan, Toyota were all becoming something. Mitsubishi, Sony. And he was like, F these people, they're taking our jobs, and everyone was like, yo, we're turning into a global economy. Thank God you ain't president. Yeah, so he hated Japan for that reason in the 80s. But look, like, we collaborated with Japan, we cooperated with Japan. When you want the globe, everyone to benefit, it takes a little elbow grease. You got to like work with people, visit them, talk about, but everyone can benefit. Mm-hmm. I don't think Trump believes in that shit.
Dog, look at this newspaper.
Yeah, we're looking at the Wall Street Journal.
Trump walks out on the meeting with the Dems. Like,
you see that camera?
That's not working with anybody.
President walks out on Pelosi and Schumer. Trump says he can't work with Democrats after Speaker says he engaged in a cover-up. So this dude he was in a meeting with them about infrastructure, and they walked in, and let's see here.
He just walked in.
Within a few minutes.
Yeah, he just walked in, said his thing, and turned out and
walked out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Okay, I used to work at JP Morgan for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if a boss that you kind of have beef with just walked in, didn't say anything to you, scheduled a meeting, and just basically walks out on you?
Yeah, just goes in and talks shit for a second and turns around. Leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, but this is Donald Trump, bro. This guy doesn't care about anyone. He just doesn't. And to think he cares about his fellow American, bro, y'all sadly mistaken.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So now let's take it back, right? So I've made the story that I think we're in for a real war here, and I'm not trying to be like alarmist, But I'm just trying to tell people like, yo, this shit's for real.
Yep.
All right, it's not a joke. So I think the stock market is, this is my opinion, is getting ready. We got to get ready to hunker down a little bit with the stock market.
For sure.
I think we're gonna start losing some more points. I think it's gonna go down more from here.
Good.
I think we're right. I think we're gonna be in a protracted kind of situation, and I don't think the stock market is pricing that in enough yet. So I think it's gonna continue to go down. And my thing will be, yo, if you've been putting in 20%, I wouldn't mind putting in a little bit extra here and there if you can. Maybe not right now, this week, next week, but once that shit's down 5%, 10%, 15%. I'd be starting to increase that 20% to a little more.
To be made, right?
Exactly. If you got powder dry and you have a little cash under your mattress or somewhere, you want to wait for that number to go down a little bit more, and you want to jump on that. That's what I'm saying.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. I guess. I guess, bro.
You seem so unenthusiastic about it, Tito.
Bro, just
tell us what happened with you in the stock market.
I didn't do any. Listen, I bought Ford when the market crashed. It was like at $8. And then when we got up to like...
What year is this?
This is like 2009.
Okay.
Like 2008.
How old were you?
I was like 22.
Okay.
Something like that. And I bought Ford. And
Are you open to sharing how much you bought?
Like $500, $700 worth.
Okay.
But at $8, I was like, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
And then it like doubled, and I needed to pay rent. And I was an idiot, bro.
Wait. It doubled?
Yeah, in the next few like months. And then now...
Wait, so you made money?
Yeah.
Oh, it went from 8 to 16.
Yeah, but
so
now
your 700
like
went to 1,400.
I think now it's like at
40
30.
bucks,
yeah, it was like 37 or something.
Oh, I thought you
would have made out like
were
a
gonna say you
bandit.
lost money. Dude.
No,
So
no.
You're bitching about making money?
I was bitching about making a little money, dog.
He didn't long game it.
I didn't long game it because I was still a young kid and I didn't know how to do anything, and I was just like,
has much
playing.
changed, Tito?
Nah, bro. You see me, bro? You see this?
Oh man. Okay. So that's your. I thought you were gonna say like
No.
you got burned.
No, I haven't really lost money on any of it. Like even Bitcoin, I bought it and then I just sold it when it was up a little bit. It had gone to 20,000, then was like crashing back down. I just like got rid of it because I was like, this is too volatile too.
Yo, look, this is my theory, right? Like the way corporations and just America in general, but corporations in particular work, right? They make a whole lot of money,
Right.
And they got to figure out, okay, we're gonna give some of this to the employees, and we're gonna give some of this to the shareholders. And the way the world's been going the last several decades, they keep giving less to the employees and more to the shareholders. My point to everyone is like, yo, you need to roll up your sleeves, even if it's $100, $500, see what you can sell. You need to get your ass to become a shareholder.
For sure.
All right? That's my thing. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, is just to get that message out.
Get that compound interest, baby.
That's right, man.
Hell yeah.
Get that $8 forward to $37, baby. Look at that. What is it? 8 times? It's a 5-bagger almost, man.
Yeah.
500, almost 450%.
It would have been great. It would have been great.
We'd be eating that Sizzler. We're doing the podcast at Sizzler right now.
But I actually never been, after that and then like whole market crash or whatever. I'm more into real estate. I just find like brick and mortar to be a little bit better.
Dude, you need to listen to some of the real estate episodes. We had a dude named Danny Rezko last week on. He's Tony Rezko's son.
I was gonna say that sounds. Yep. That Tony's not a good name around Chicago.
In Chicago, no. The newspapers painted him really poorly. Yeah, they made him a symbol. They made him a everything bad with him. Only politics has to do with this Middle Eastern guy Tony Rezko. But anyway, Danny, before all that shit, and Danny says his father didn't do anything.
Sure.
Basically, his father was a scapegoat. I don't know the truth. I didn't follow the trial very closely.
Right.
But his dad ran one of the bigged real estate companies in Chicago before he went to jail. His dad was the first seed money to Barack Obama. His dad owned 75 or 80 Papa John's pizzerias and Panda Expresses. And his dad was Muhammad Ali's business manager. This guy knows a thing or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who's his mentee?
His
son. So Danny broke some shit down last week.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that about real estate. It's really good.
Yeah, my mom wants me to buy real estate. My family owns some real estate, so I'm just more used to that. That's the long term.
Yep.
And everyone that I know that has like property, they're like, "Oh, I got to sell it because I'm moving to this state." I'm like, "No,
don't sell it."
I'm like, "Keep that, keep it."
So why? So here's my take on the United States government and the United States democracy, right? And I said this before. I'm just saying it. I'm just repeating it for you all. The way our country is set up, it is set up in a way to make shareholders wealthier, right? Oh, let's take Trump, for example, right? So the big headlines is Trump is giving $16 billion to farmers today. Red state Midwest farmers, right? Why? Because the Chinese, one of their weapons is they buy a lot of soybeans. They love soybeans. They love soy. So China, right off the bat, is like, yo,
stop buying them.
Yeah, we're not gonna buy any more soy from y'all. Ooh. You know. So the Midwest farmers are like, oh, just choke them. You know. Now here's the thing. The truth is, there aren't really that many small farmers anymore.
Nah.
It's mostly corporations. So when Trump gives $16 billion to quote-unquote farmers, I think he's pretty much giving it to big corporations. You know what I'm saying? And why is that? Because guess who's funding his $500 million campaign in 2020? Corporations, the elite.
Monsanto.
There you go, baby.
Yeah, it's funny because I find it hysterical. Like, where does America borrow its money?
The Chinese.
Hey.
And the Japanese. Right. So the rare earth minerals is one weapon with technology. The fact that a lot of our stuff is produced over there is another weapon they have on us. The fact that they have 5G is another weapon on us. The fact that they buy so many soybeans from us, another weapon on us. The fact that they have billions, trillions of our debt, they've lent us money. That's how we're paying Social Security from the Chinese. Yo, they got a lot on us already.
And their workforce, bro.
Their workforce, yeah.
They're cheaper labor.
Yeah.
And they work way harder than any American.
And how many corporations, companies have their stuff outsourced over there?
Yep.
Many. If it's not Mexico, it's China. That's the two places where people. And so yeah, it's not a good situation that Trump is doing. You gotta. My thing with Trump is like, yo, go cooperate. Go make everyone richer, you know?
It's all about Trump for him, man.
Yeah,
he wants to make himself richer.
I understand that shit.
I don't mind conservatives or Republicans as long as they're all for like the greater good. But it just doesn't seem like that's the overarching plan. It's almost like the me. And like that's why China's a little different. Because China's like communist.
Yeah.
We're in this together.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, we in this bitch.
Look, if you look at our country versus China, right? I love America and I want us to succeed. I don't want us to have a constitutional crisis, which is what we're in right now.
Yeah, no,
I don't want none of that shit. I want my country to be strong. I want it to thrive. You know, I'm Palestinian. Like we because of the West, we lost our country. Yep. I don't want to lose another country. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even go into China next month. You know what I'm saying? One country is enough for me to lose. So I want this shit to be right, and that's what our country's built upon. Is like, yo, people speak them real. At least that's what we say is built upon, right. and you know, revolution and shit. So I was like, yo, I got a problem with this. So my take is like, yo, China is pulling people out of poverty. We are pushing people more into poverty. Like our income inequality,
it's sick.
Rich keep getting richer, poor
Exploding.
yeah. They're not having that problem. You know what I'm saying? So I think what happens is we're like trying to focus a lot on China and like take out their legs as a substitution for focusing on our own shit.
Yeah, people don't want to focus on their own shit, so they always find a way to project their like, you know, psychology 101.
Yep. Find the other, right?
Yeah, find the other, find the enemy, and it's a strategy from day old, bro. Find an enemy, give it to the people, and that distracts them from what you really do.
One distraction has been the currency of Trump since the election, right?
Yep.
Like every single thing.
Look over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Look over here so I could do something.
That's my
else
favorite
over
thing
here.
to say is like you know, I believe that there's a real change happening in this country. I believe there's a lot of racial problems.
Sure.
I think that white supremacy is a problem. And I think what Trump ends up doing is to distract everyone from those problems and not dealing with those realities, and to possibly try and elongate or keep like white, you know, Caucasians, keep them as the majority. I think Trump will do one of these, you know, us versus them thing.
Of course.
And let's put the brown people. So it's like,
He's been building it since day one.
right? Mexicans are rapists and murderers.
Muslim
Build a wall.
ban, right?
Exactly. Mexicans are rapists and murderers. Build a wall. Muslims are trying to get us. Muslim ban.
Yep.
Chinese trying to steal our shit. Trade war.
Ban. Yeah.
It's like
he's gonna
one
isolate.
after the
He's gonna isolate us from the world wanting to like do anything with like. So I rent I have a big apartment building with my mom. It's hers. I manage it, and she rents out bedrooms in her house and bedrooms in the apartment building to international students. And it's my
Where's
favorite.
this at? What neighborhood?
I'm in Logan Square.
Okay,
And the house is in Belmont Cragen, and we've been renting to international students for years, and right now, dude, the pool of students that are coming to America, at least Chicago, for these are English programs, so they come here like K-Plan or whatever. They'll do like a 6-week to 6-month English course, and they stay with a host family, and like 2-3 years ago, it was from all over Brazil, Russia, from everywhere. Now, bro, it's mostly Saudis. It's mostly Saudis and some Japanese, some people from Japan. And like I don't see much of anything else in the websites where people are requesting places. I'm like, yo, dude, I don't know if that has anything to do, but I'm telling you, it's a significant change.
That's interesting.
Like if you want to learn English and you're like living in Brazil, bro, go to Australia, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like go to Australia, go to the UK, go somewhere else, because the America just as a visual doesn't even look like it's friendly right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's and that's not also good for the stock market, right? Like we thrive because people who are the smartest around the world come to our country
to be educated, do business, whatever.
Exactly. And so less of that means less American corporations benefiting from their ingenuity. So that's the China-America trade war. I don't like it. It's happening. Beware. But this is where the men separate from the boys. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but you start. Yeah, you're probably gonna hear me start next few weeks. Like, yo, market's going down more, put more money in. Market's going down more, put more money. Just it's kind of like you almost gotta mentally start getting yourself ready to have the balls to look at all this red. You're gonna start seeing a lot of red numbers potentially, and it's like you gotta have the balls to be investing while you're seeing it go down.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. Like it doesn't make sense. It's like running into a burning building.
I think it's going to come down to put your money in now, for example, and then wait till the next election and see what happens. And then you might just get a nice little bump. Yep. Especially if we get rid of this guy.
Could be.
I mean, this
is our chance. This is America's chance to get rid of him. If the stock market takes a real good hit, even the elites will not vote him back in.
Yeah. We'll see, man. I don't trust my fellow American right now.
I hear you, brother.
I don't.
All right, so let's move on from talking markets to talking Patrick M. Wimp. So wait, so you mentioned name drama before with Wimp.
Yes, sir.
So what's the worst people have ever done with your name?
The worst, so the most consistent is definitely the bartender or bouncer thing. I mean, I didn't really get picked on much growing up for my name. I mean, maybe it's like.
But that's because you were at 7 years old. You were benching 300, right?
That's right.
Making sure you weren't a wimp.
I used to be like 7 feet tall, bench 300. I shrunk down.
You too, bro. You too.
Yeah.
Were you the one telling me about a story about some little kid that on the internet, like some dad was making him work out at 7 or 8 years old, making him bench like 250? Somebody was telling me that. Yeah, there's some story about some.
That's a great dad.
So you're saying really some of the worst stuff was that you weren't picked on as a kid?
I mean, high school, a couple people tried to pick on me. Somebody tried
to. Did you ever get in a fight about it?
Not really. Like,
where you from, bro?
I'm from the suburbs, Chicago suburbs.
No, wait. Now, do you mean ethnically?
No. Just where you from?
I was gonna ask you if you had to guess ethnically what Patrick is. What would you say?
Syrian.
For real?
I don't know. Like,
take a guess.
You're. I feel like you're somewhere around the Mediterranean, but I don't know if you're the north or the south of it.
It's funny, man. So
nobody ever knows.
No one ever knows. Patrick is ambiguous.
Yeah, hence the question. like I was gonna say, like Libyan,
Patrick
Estonian,
flies under the radar. I gotta imagine that you're in a special situation, Patrick. And what I mean is like you're able to be a fly on the wall sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
Is my guess.
Yeah, dude.
So Patrick, tell us, Patrick, what you are.
Yeah, sure. So my dad is black, my mom is white. They're both from the south side of Chicago, different neighborhoods.
Right?
What?
He's a black man right here.
Yo, daddy black. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And you thought you were dropping the N-word earlier, no problem.
Yeah.
No, for real. So that's a big deal, right? Like, so your name didn't get you in a fight, but did like, I don't know. Did you being black ever get you in a fight? And like maybe you're not black enough, maybe you're not white enough. I don't know.
I mean, there's that, right? Like there's the you don't count has been thrown around.
You don't
Which-
right? My sister actually she does a different podcast that she was on last week talking about some of this stuff. And it's like it's not so much the biracial, it's like the bicultural, right? Like this idea of where do I fit in? Do I fit in anywhere? And like you said, not being enough, being too much, whatever that is. But no, like generally, right? Like, and I even see this with, I'll tell you a story. One of my best friends growing up is also biracial. He has a son who's like a little white blonde kid. And he talks about like he lives out West Coast, San Fran. He's like, we'll be at the park and it's like older black women can like spot, like even though it's this little white blonde kid, it's like there's something there's something in the mix, and I don't know what that's from. I always talk about like kind of old school American census, right? Like if you got 2 drops of blood in the mix, like you were in the black category, right? Like that's a real thing. So like generally the black community is quicker to claim me as a biracial person. I mean, I only have my own experience, versus generally getting it from like, so to your question, right? Like that fly on the wall would be like white community says something offensive or racist and someone, an ally does like, yo, like Pat's here, what the hell? And then the response is like, he doesn't count, right? He's only half. Like, so it becomes this like excuse for like, I'm going to say my messed up stuff, in front of you. And I kind of don't care.
Wow.
So like that fly on the wall, like one, like, yeah, like I could walk through what life and pass. You and I have talked about this, right? Like you can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
But then
fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I need to be white right now to be safe.
But then it also kind of allows you to see.
Like if the SS just walked in right now.
What? Right.
The SS?
The Hitler's crew.
Oh, shit. That's what they're called?
And like
We're
if they
just
walked
three,
in right now and they're like split the room up, I'd be like, hey, you better get your black ass on this side.
Carry on.
So back to that story. So a older black woman noticed.
Yeah, I mean that's just general. Like in general, right? Like black people like identify it for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't know what reason, right? Like I get to do the nod. You guys know the nod, right? Like the nod. People give the nod.
Wait, what's the nod? In case no one, shit, I don't know. I think I know what the nod is, but I don't know.
The nod is like, I see you. Like
I got you. Right.
I get the nod. I get the nod all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're just like,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah, I get that. I do that all the time. I do it with people myself.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
just kinda
like,
checking
it's
out
like I
si-
see
checking
you,
out-
you're here.
checking
we
out
kinda-
situation, right?
Yeah.
You know what it is.
You know
right?
what's good.
Yeah,
You know
right,
what's good.
I got you. All right. So I do that. I do that nod myself with some people. Sometimes I'm like, or sometimes I'll see some crazy shit happening over here. Like on the left.
Yeah.
I look over on the right, and another dude will see it. I'm like, hey, you see that? Yeah, I got you. Like if shit goes down over here, I got you. All right, cool. All right. So that's an interesting life, man. So let's just jump into some of your work.
For
right?
sure.
So I mean, it's a cool story, bro. Right? You're an entrepreneur. You own your own production studio, which means you are creating content, whether it's a TV show, a feature film, if it's a commercial,
Yep.
a web series. Your production studio can create all of that.
Yeah, start to finish. We talk like concept to completion, right? Like we have the creative, whatever.
You come to us and you have nothing. You'll walk out with something.
Exactly. We can generate idea for you. We can script it. We can produce it. We can take it through post.
Right.
All the way through.
All the way through
to delivery.
Okay. Now, we'd be remiss, like this wouldn't be a full conversation, a complete conversation, if we don't talk about your partner. So you own a company called Digital Hydra.
Correct.
With a co-founder.
Yep.
Who is?
So my partner is named Hamza Jamjoom.
Yes.
He is from Saudi Arabia. Speaking of Saudis.
Saudi. I love these guys.
He's currently in Saudi Arabia, actually.
Okay.
So yeah, we met in film school. Had kind of similar, I would say, definitely similar visual sensibilities. We liked like visually gripping, intense, high quality visual stuff. Started making films together in school. Kind of got a strong reputation there as worthy content creators. And then what really kind of solidified our business was Right after I graduated with my master's, the school actually hired, the school being DePaul University, hired Hamza and myself to build an ad campaign for them for the film school that would run at the Chicago International Film Festival. So that kind of like clicked us late, like, oh, like people pay us to like make stuff up and film it. And yeah, from there we just kind of
hit the road, hit the ground
running, and started in like small to mid-size corporate and commercial work. Climbed our way up into some music video stuff. You know, Hamza's Middle Eastern background has been extremely advantageous for us. It's kind of an underserved market in terms of like
good content getting created,
high quality production. So people start.
I could tell you, I've seen some of that stuff. When I go to the Middle East, I'm like, what the hell are you people watching? This guy ain't acting, he's faking.
That's what acting is, bro. Sorry to bring it to you, bro.
So yeah, we were able to get some bigger projects
through the Middle Eastern links.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Really big, music videos for that part of the world. Like we have a video that has like 350 million YouTube views from a Middle Eastern music artist.
Nice.
We've done a couple seasons of TV,
television series.
there. Yeah, so that's kind of allowed us to
build
grow,
up,
and then also stay involved in like the independent Chicago scene, and
that's such a weird mix, isn't it?
Yeah,
like I'm huge in Saudi Arabia and big in the indie Chicago scene.
All right, so that's you as entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur of Digital Hydro, co-founder with Hamza.
Yep.
In addition to that, right, you are a professor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
You teach courses at various universities that have film.
For sure.
For example, DePaul.
Yes.
All right. What do you teach there? It seems like you teach a lot there.
I teach a lot of different things. So talking about my education there, it was kind of a by any means necessary, like all-inclusive filmmaker education, right? We're going to give you the skills. So if you want to like write a movie, find some way to get it funded and just go out and make it, you have all the skills to do that yourself. So that kind of translated into a lot of what I teach at the school. I teach production, I teach editing, I teach a lot of writing.
Screenwriting.
I kind of trend towards writing. That's what I teach.
That's what you like to do the most.
Also, yeah, writing is what if I'm objectively evaluating myself, I am best at. But as I say in Chicago, right, especially when I'm fresh out of school, there's not a ton of jobs for like you're a new screenwriter in your 20s. So like you gotta be entrepreneurial. Like you have to create
hustle
opportunities for yourself. So
that's DePaul. Where else do you teach?
I teach at Northwestern University.
Similar kind of classes?
Yeah, TV writing a TV pilot is a class I teach there. And then I teach some at College of DePaul out in the suburbs, writing stuff.
COD.
What's
up, baby?
You got it. So, yeah.
Those are the places you teach.
Those are the places
All
I
right,
teach.
so we got an entrepreneur. We got a teacher. All right, then you yourself have indeed written and created some television pilots, some feature films. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So that's your kind of Damn.
Dog,
Third time's a charm, baby. Do you have
front or something?
Do you have like a case on your phone?
I took the case off. I thought this
I was gonna say.
This thing keeps rubber thing keeps coming. So I wonder if I should stop and use the other.
I mean, can you just put it on the front and lean it back, or it won't have the angle?
I got one in my car.
That's a good idea.
I think I got the same one, but in red. That's crazy.
No, it doesn't have the claw, but
yeah. Just don't shake
I don't
the
think
table.
we're like bang.
No, we're not.
Like
You're not banging on shit. Put center it a little more. I feel like it's a little off center.
Hopefully we don't bang the shit out of it. Try not to bang the table.
All right, no
I'm not
banging.
even gonna touch this table, bro.
All right. Should we clap every time we do that problem? Probably should, right?
no, you're all right. So, I mean, you're talking about for the edit.
Yeah.
So like, what he'll do is he can sync it up, the
So
whole
who
thing,
edits?
and then he'll chop out.
Pawan Deep in India.
That's
we
what it's
worldwide,
called?
baby.
Pawan Deep.
That's his name.
All right.
All right. So we're back.
Yes, sir.
So you were talking about what? The schools,
So
the art, the creative
you're-
art
you're-
outlet.
Yeah, you're talking about creative feature films,
Yeah.
TV, web, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I forgot what I asked you, but you were probably saying like that's what your creative outlet is.
Writing.
TV pilots.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, right, and most people that go to film school, no, not all, I guess, but for me, the end goal was always like tell stories, right? Create narrative fiction, whether it's shows, whether it's movies, and generally I wanted to be the person writing it, or at least top level involved in those creative decisions, and then be one of the kind of above the line top level people driving the ship.
Right.
Most of the time that has been for me functioning as a producer, but can be directing as well.
All right. So of all the things you've created in the world of like narrative and art, things that you really enjoy doing more, which one are you most proud of that maybe has gotten you the furthest into kind of some of your bigger career goals?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm very proud of. So I wrote and created a TV pilot a couple years ago called Public Housing Unit.
Housing Unit.
Correct. So
Okay.
it's based on the true stories of 3 Chicago cops who worked in Cabrini Green, Robert Taylor, all the public housing in the 1980s and 1990s.
Oh, all right. So the unit, so they're not regular beat cops. They're specifically for the public housing areas.
Yeah. So what happened?
Damn.
Kind
Serious
of
job.
in shorthand is quote unquote regular police didn't want to police those areas.
Right.
So they created a specific division just for those areas. And what was interesting is geographically, right? Like that's all over the city. That's not like most people have like their, ward or the wards, right? The districts. So it's like a certain geographic region. Like this thing was headquartered out of Cabrini, at least the Public Housing North, which these cops worked at. But they're going everywhere. They're going south side. They're going north side. They have this massive geography of the highest density crime areas in the city. So the stories are insane. They're like some are darkly humorous, some are really sad and disturbing. It's just a wide range of amazing stories, and that's what kind of drew me into it as a creator. Is like this stuff has to be told.
Yeah, it's a different spin on the whole Law and Order SVU kind of. It's like, yo, Chicago got a bad reputation and globally. Here, let's dig into this shit. Let's roll our sleeves up. This is different than The Wire.
Yeah,
this is some deeper shit.
Yeah, it's a
Cabrini Green. I mean, people nationally have heard of Cabrini Green.
Right,
exactly.
Worldwide, it's a known place, and that particular department, like the way they describe it is like it was Siberia, right? Like if you fuck up out in the
you get put on that.
world, like they send you there.
Oh, as a cop?
Yeah, or if you don't play ball with like the corruption of your commander or whatever, they send you there.
Damn.
So our guys,
it's like if you're in prison, they put you in solitary.
It's the wall.
Yeah, it's the wall.
It is the wall. It's the wall. It's the nice watch, right? You're the watcher on the wall. But what they talk about is like because it was like all the like dysfunctional people there, they were actually able to like do good. Like they were able to kind of go out and like deploy their own brand of policing, which ideally was going to actually help people,
right?
And be effective because you didn't have like that system in place.
Yep.
To look over them.
Damn.
So anyway, that project it did really well.
What's the goal in that project? I presume the goal is to get that thing to get picked up, the pilot, and then you have like season 1, 10 episodes, season 2, 10 episodes.
Absolutely.
Is that what happened with it?
Yeah. So at the time, right. So the show was released in 2017. We kind of had a run that went on into last year with it
At festivals and things like that.
Yeah, festivals and taking.
Yeah. So you're trying to basically send around to festivals, trying to get someone to pick it up.
Yeah, you're trying to
like
build
a network
awareness.
or NBC or something like that.
Exactly, and have somebody pitch it up. It was very much designed for like an HBO, FX, Showtime, prestige drama with adult language, adult themes, because obviously fits that mold. But at the time when we started developing it around 2015, and at the time there was this movement for like independent TV.
Yep.
Right, which is very much like independent film. Like you create something. You go out, raise some funds, you make a pilot or you make a bunch of episodes and you can sell it. Well, that movement was kind of short-lived. So like now if you were to do that and some of the feedback we got by the time it was released is like, oh, you shouldn't have made a pilot. Like you should just write something, shoot like a sizzle reel or like a pitch thing where you can get the vibe, right? But like the pilot becomes one. It's a very large investment.
How many minutes was it? Was it a full episode?
Yeah, it's a full hour long.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like 48 minutes, 52 minutes.
Yeah, that's not cheap
show.
to do. Are you able to disclose how much?
I would rather not.
Okay. But I'm saying it's not costing 20, 30 grand to do that. It's a lot more money.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, it's substantial.
How much you think, Tito?
I'm gonna go with 110 grand.
Yeah, I think more.
Dang.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's that's significant investment. And also what happens, right, when you take it out to some of the people you want to make the show with, say you guys have a network and I bring it. Well, since you've kind of shot the whole thing and like really created the creative vibe, it becomes kind of like, here's the product, take it or leave it.
Too much information almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Like a lot of people on the executive side or even like creative production companies and things like that, like they want to see like their in point, right? Like, okay, here's a really cool idea, but like here's what I could bring to it, right? Now we're going to develop it further. We're going to put our brand stamp on it.
Almost like you do it, you create it, you take it to like a Showtime or someone, and they're like, yo, we love it, but we're now going to make it Showtime ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Right, exactly. But like when you've shot the entire thing and it's really buttoned up and polished, which this thing was, they kind of look at it and it's like, if it doesn't check all their boxes, like we're not,
Right.
this is great, but
Right.
becomes the thing.
Okay.
But for me as an individual, it really helped. One, just like creative confidence. It kind of showed me like, oh, look, okay, like I can tell a wide variety of stories.
Right.
I can tell these stories well. We won a whole bunch of awards at festivals. I won like a writing award at a really big festival where I like saw the stuff that I was up against.
And you're like, damn, that shit's good.
Yeah, like
if I win, that means
that shit was really good.
Good for you.
So I was, very like humbled and honored by that.
But before we jump into the personal stuff, or I think another level of confidence a person can get is like the doors this content can get you in.
Right.
So were you able to like, I mean the gold standard, which I think we talk about, is like HBO.
Yeah.
Right. Game of Thrones. Right.
Yep.
Were you able to get them to pay attention to something like this?
For sure. Yeah. HBO has kind of long been my gold standard. So we got to the biggest entities we got to pitch to. We got to pitch to HBO. We got to pitch to Sony, and I believe Showtime.
So you walk into the HBO doors and they watch your shit and they want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. So as a result of winning one of the festivals, right, like they had seen the show and I think they were a sponsor of this particular festival.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're looking for good stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. They brought our creative team out. We get to have a meeting with their development people. They've seen the show. They read all our material.
Yeah, they're meeting with you because they're serious. Like, okay, we might want to use this for HBO.
Yeah, at least that's.
And you would then go work for HBO and write a bunch of episodes and seasons.
In theory, right? In the perfect version of it, it's wow, you guys are fantastic. This is the greatest show ever made. Come make it for us.
Got
right?
it.
That is minuscule in terms.
It's
of
like
likelihood.
David Benioff and George R. Is that his name?
Those are the guys.
George R. Martin for Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
he
wrote
wrote
the
it.
book,
He didn't pitch it.
Yeah,
Right.
those
Okay.
the two dudes who you see after the episode.
Yeah, those are the dudes.
Yeah,
What do you know their names? David
Benioff and Weiss.
Yeah, Benioff and Weiss.
Captain and Major Obvious. This scene with the dragons was really great because like dragons breathe fire and
Terrible
who doesn't
writers,
like
by
that?
the way. Terrible writers.
In the last episode, in the last season
The
or
whole
two.
last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for a minute, but yeah, I don't want to get into it.
no, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to bash anybody.
I do.
What's interesting, right, is Patrick sounds like he's meeting the same people that
Yeah.
Benioff and Weiss met with when they pitched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're all in the same.
Same shit.
They're
I
all in
mean,
the
So
same
you
company.
So you met with those people,
Mm-hmm.
and
So it was, I can never remember the term, but it's basically like a positive pass. Like, yeah, this is really great, but we don't want it. But what?
So the ideal Goldilocks situation did not happen.
Yeah, Goldilocks situation did not
Damn.
happen. It did seem to be a little more of like, all right, let's like size up this creative team. Is there synergy there? But I did, get some further interest as an individual, as a writer, kind of coming out of that meeting. They're
From
like,
HBO.
yeah.
Oh
like,
snap.
So some of their people were like, you did a really great job with this. Send us some other stuff.
No shit. That's cool. That's great.
Right. So,
So that's where it might look like a failure on the surface, but in reality, you've now got relationships there, and they're kind of you're on the radar.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure you guys see it with comedy too. You have that like imposter syndrome, like that comes with being an artist. Like, am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here? And when like a bigger entity gives you that validation, it shuts up that part of your brain, at least for a little bit. It doesn't
we know that, right, Tito?
Dollars, but
Tito got quiet. Like, yeah, I know that shit.
I fight that little voice all the time.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
You just gotta tell him to shut up. I mean,
okay, wow. So that's cool. So that's a great experience with public.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a great experience, and
Yeah, personally, it has done a lot for you. I got you
for sure.
All right, so let's talk. We're a business show, comedy investing,
Absolutely.
right? So let's talk about some of the other stuff you do with your production studio, right? So you're a screenwriter. You run a production studio.
Yep.
You're a producer.
Professor,
doing it all, baby. But on the production studio side, when it comes to companies, when it comes to individuals who are looking to like make an investment in their company, right. So we're not going to talk about like investing in the stock market. We're going to talk about investing in a different way, like investing in themselves.
Yep.
Right. Like, okay, I got 10 grand to burn. I'm gonna give it to Patrick.
Yeah.
See what he can do for me from a content perspective to make my company sell my product a lot more.
Absolutely.
Patrick, can you create something that becomes my salesperson?
For sure.
So do you do a lot of that, first of all?
Yes, absolutely. So that's kind of where we started, and I still do a good deal of like corporate company profiles.
Which companies have you done?
I mean, I've done corporate work.
I was just like, I don't know if you can name them, right?
I mean, it's a laundry list from anything from small to mid-sized businesses to like McDonald's, Walgreens, Coca-Cola, Travelocity.
Damn.
Those,
so you've done a lot of those.
Yeah, the bigger companies, it tends to be more either internal or business-to-business communication, where you're just kind of a cog in the wheel.
Yep.
But I mean, I've done a ton of company profiles for local mid-sized businesses.
Yep.
I mean, the commercial side, I think I would separate from that conversation a little bit, but like we've done commercials for Facebook, we've done commercials for McDonald's. Every year we do Bulls, White Sox, Cubs, Blackhawks, WGN, any of their promos, like their high-end promos.
So if WGN is going to do a promo or a commercial on one of the sports teams, they'll come to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, gangster. All right, so then tell us, like what. I want a company profile. I got a company, or even myself as a personal brand or whatever. Like, what advice would you have for me about creating content for my company? Right? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna invest a little money, $5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever. My guess is, well, okay. So what? How would you go about pitching a company on that? What's the wisest, smartest thing for a company to do when it comes to trying to create content for their business?
For sure. So the thing that I'm trying to put out there right now is having people reevaluate how they invest those dollars, right? Because traditionally it's like, hey, I've got $5,000, I need a video. And it is an investment, right? Like marketing is an investment.
Yep.
You're putting money into something that you're not purchasing an item. You're putting money in with the hope that it generates.
Right. You put in $5 grand, you want to get 10 grand back.
Exactly. Hopefully 50, 500,
right.
Whatever. So, kind of.
You're trying to put something out there. What do you mean? What are you trying to put out there?
So, like, my new way to what I want people to do is rethink that, right? Like the way social media behaves, which is kind of the primary marketing avenue, and most of the videos that we're talking about here are things that are built for web, right? Like Amer's, investment firm does a video, it lives on their website, or you post it on YouTube, and it kind of is a catch-all, right? It's, here's what our company does, here's a little bit about our brand, and here's why you should go with us, right? It's kind of both infomercial and commercial. I think that people need to kind of rethink the single video approach and start playing just in the kind of ongoing engagement world that we all exist in, right? Like if you think about, how we receive most of our marketing, it's on our phone, it's through social, it's in these feeds that you're going through it every day, and there's a new thing coming through every day.
See it for a few seconds max.
Yeah, exactly. And even something that's really successful, like an ad that goes viral or something like that, like maybe it's around for a week or two, and then that cycle changes and something new comes in.
So you're saying a lot of these companies will do one big campaign or one big commercial or something.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, a week later, no one can remember it.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Gotcha. So what are you proposing instead?
If they're lucky, I mean, even to some degree, I think a lot of people don't even think about where that thing is going to go, right? Like they just know I need a video, but they don't think about like
where it's going to sit and live.
How's it actually going to work? Like if you just throw it up on YouTube,
operatively, okay, got you.
Maybe 200 people see it because you post it on your Facebook page, but that's it. Like you need that thing to return its investment.
Right. So what are you proposing?
So
because you're right. If you're a professor teaching this, you're running a company, you're screenwriting. It sounds like you're in the thick of things, right? You are seeing a lot of shit. You understand content probably better than any of us put together. Mm-hmm. So what are you seeing and shifting towards?
So what I'm seeing is like you need to consistently and repeatedly engage your customer. There was like a big Forbes article like a couple months ago. I couldn't find it again in advance of talking to you guys. But it was talking about like the effectiveness of like bigger corporations embracing social justice campaigns. And they cited like the Colin Kaepernick Nike campaign.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Right, Nike took a big risk. Mm-hmm. You remember that, Tito?
It's not even a risk.
Really?
No, like in my mind,
in the corporate world, it is.
Sure. No, but it paid off for him.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's see what Patrick thinks. Did it?
It did return short term. Like I mean, you had
it's good. Was it a good investment and was it a good risk?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Well, one, it wasn't that big of a departure from their brand,
exactly,
right? Because it was like their brand is just do it, and what they said with Kaepernick is kind of like just do it, even if people don't like you. I'm paraphrasing. And obviously, you had like some of the backlash. But for the most part, like the response to the video or the ads were positive. Their brand awareness went up. That really worked well. But what this article talked about is like that was, kind of lived for 2 or 3 months, and then it goes out of the cycle. You don't have another social justice piece that comes up, and again, it was still effective for them. It's Nike. Nike is an iceberg. Like it's not going anywhere.
But you're saying for people to really suddenly have a big shift and look at Nike in a different light and be like, yo, I trust Nike a lot more. They supported Colin. You're saying one campaign ain't enough.
Right. And that's what this Forbes article was saying, right? Like, it was,
do you agree with that?
Yeah, to some degree. And I think when you make it, like when you talk about small business and personal brands, that's even more important, right? If Nike has the ability to kind of flex and
play
do
a little,
they want.
So you're saying a smaller company, a middle-sized company, it's even more important to have drip, 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 not just one commercial, but you need to have, so instead of doing like a 5-minute commercial, do like 5 different, 1-minute commercials.
Yeah,
right.
5 1 minutes, right?
It'll build trust more.
Release them once a month, spend your promo dollars on that once a month, like keep that in there. And you create a couple different opportunities, right? Like one, you create the ability for people to connect with you in multiple ways, right? Mm-hmm. Like say, I don't know, whatever. I did like a promo at like a sporting event, right, for my company, and that was my video for this month. Well, that works for some people. Some people hate sports, and they're going to turn that off immediately. But the next one is at whatever, the World Chess Tournament.
Right. And now you got those people, right?
Now you got those people. So you're like creating additional opportunities for people to interact with your brand.
I gotcha.
And kind of one of the other things that I feel like is because of the way social media functions right now, companies and brands kind of function like individuals, right? Like even though they are companies, they're posting and
they're legally persons.
They are legally persons.
They're legally persons, right? Or like look at like you guys know about Wendy's Twitter?
No.
Like Wendy's Twitter is like super like snarky and like
I thought that was the Taco Bell one.
Taco Bell might do it too.
Yeah,
that's smart. So they now have the company's personality.
Yeah, like they have this personality, and they've like driven up their business just by like going on Twitter and kind of like jawing with people and interacting and things like that.
It's almost like
imagine that's your job.
Yeah, right.
Imagine
Wendy- at
this just be the Wendy's Twitter guy
You
Oh
go
my
talk
God.
smack.
and just trolling Burger King.
I think trolling Burger
This is all you do. Like Burger King posts like, "Oh, look, this is our Whopper of the day,"
Right.
and then you just go back and like, "That shit sucks."
blowing up the Burger King account. Oh man, that's hilarious. I mean, I can see Wendy's owner just like going to different open mics and be like, "This guy's kind of funny." They could
It's
come-
gotta be so tricky though, because
Yeah.
I worked in advertising and social media and e-commerce, and we had some Fortune 500 companies, and it's so hard to get ideas to just like be done.
Yeah.
And so the fact that someone could have their voice and be active on Twitter and
big
posting,
deal.
it's huge.
Wow.
Because that's one person, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
eventually that's
yeah.
one person.
Yeah, it's got a voice, and I'm sure multiple people can write towards that that
Right.
voice. But you're probably right. It's probably one dude.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
that's
so it's almost like you're saying, look at your brand as a human being in a way,
Of course.
and customers as your friends, and
Right.
they're not gonna It'd be weird if me and Tito, I just invited him for the first time on this podcast, and I'd met him once before.
Mhm.
We would not be interacting this way.
Nah.
yeah.
I've seen this dude over 50 or 100 times.
There you go.
We've chopped it up a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so you're saying, hey, if you're gonna come to Patrick Wimp and Hamza at your production studio to create a commercial,
Yeah.
we want you to do it the way Amr and Tito built their relationship.
Yeah.
One after another. After 20, 30 times, they start to trust each other.
Yeah.
Same thing with your company.
Right.
If Patrick makes you 20, 30 videos at 1 minute each, the customers are going to see it 20, 30 times, and they're going to start trusting you, and they're going to buy your shit.
Yes. Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah, exactly.
Think
And I
about
mean,
it like a relationship.
Right. And there's obviously still a room for the traditional commercial or whatever, but we're talking about investing, right? We're talking about returning value.
Right.
And value is in volume right now, right? Think about even like the social media influencers and the people like we all follow, right? They put out a consistent flow of generally what tends to be educational or entertaining content.
Yeah.
And as
Edutainment.
exactly. And the more we see that, right? Like, oh, I can keep going back to this person for this value. Like now I do have a relationship.
And now I have a reason to buy. So you're saying if they come to you, you're like, yo, make your video educational or entertaining or snap, both.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think commercials are dead. I really don't
Like
think
television commercials?
Yeah, like I don't even know what is on TV anymore.
Right.
'Cause nobody watches TV.
Right.
I just canceled my cable like 2 days ago.
I can't wait for that skip ads. But
Right.
I've only seen one real commercial from beginning to end and clicked their link.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very captivating. I was like, oh, mad respect. Let me.
Well, wait, you know what? That's funny you say that. Can you create, like, do you have the ability? I assume you do because of all the shit you do, but let me just ask the question. I don't want to be disrespectful. Like, do you have the ability to create what Tito's saying, like a really captivating commercial or something?
Yeah,
like that?
absolutely. I mean,
That doesn't, you don't have to go to LA and do a Hollywood studio thing?
no, I mean, and that's something where we've been able to apply this like
Mhm.
indie filmmaker knowledge to do things like that. Like one of the first ads we ever did was for a training center out in Naperville who trains like elite level athletes, right, to go to the pros.
Almost like a gym?
Yeah, it's a gym. They have like
Physical
amazing,
training,
amazing
okay.
coaches, amazing equipment. It's like
It's like top notch kind of thing.
yeah, it's like if you want to get to the NFL, like
I was
you
gonna
come
say
go to
that's
this
the
place.
combine. That's where you go before the
Right.
combine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard
Exactly.
of it.
So they reached out to you?
Yeah, so through like kind of a friend of a friend, we connected, and they're like, we want to do an ad, and like, we really want something that looks like, they send us a bunch of Nike ads and stuff like that.
Nike ads. I got to think Nike's dropping millions of dollars on their ads,
They
right?
have to, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
They're McDonald's, bro.
Right.
That's all they
For
do
real.
is just stay in front of people. They
Right.
don't even care.
But no, I'm saying they also, not just how much they spend on, I'm not just saying how much they spend putting it on TV.
But
I'm
the
saying the
production.
ad itself.
Yeah. of
Is
course.
it a gangster ad?
yeah, I mean, you're probably, there's.
What do you
it
think?
just
What do you think
depends.
Nike or someone pays for?
I
an
would
ad?
say probably six figures, but it depends. I mean, I
100
think
grand,
like
200 grand.
50,000, 100,000, on up.
And they almost look like they're mini movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So like for
So they
these
reach out
guys-
to you.
Yeah, these guys, had a much smaller budget, a 4-figure budget.
Oh damn.
And it's like, we want to communicate this high-end brand. Like as you just said, like you got guys that are trying to go to the NFL, like the look and feel of the company needs to match that. But because like we owned a movie camera, we know real cinematographers that shoot real movies. We're used to shooting, a $10,000 movie that looks like a $300,000 movie. Like we could apply that to making a commercial.
You're saying you have the ability, for example, Patrick, to make what looks like a $300,000 movie, you could do it possibly for 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you know so much.
exactly.
Wow.
I mean, like, yeah.
So these guys are like, yo, we want a Nike commercial, which normally costs 100, 200 grand. Can you do it for 5 or 10?
Exactly.
And you're like, no, we can't do that shit.
And
right?
No, I mean, you reverse engineer it. Now, can you have everything, right? Can we have like giant cranes and stuff like that? Like, no. But like, we can stylize your lighting and make it look really, badass. We can shoot slow motion. We can,
Wait. Okay, paint me a picture. So lighting and slow motion and making it look badass like a Nike commercial. So would you guys get people in the gym?
Yeah, so like
a
that
dude in the gym or
that
something?
became kind of like a bonus feature there. It's like they have like Division I athletes. They have like
Huge
ripped
dudes.
guys and girls who are like elite. So it's like we could get them out for free to perform,
okay.
right? But then like we bring in movie lights and put like dramatic lighting on it, side lighting, back lighting.
I got you. So like this dude will be lifting or doing something, or a woman.
Yeah.
You'll put like a special spotlight on their arms or on their face or something, and I was like, and then you do slow motion maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
As they're lifting the curl or something, and
Right.
and now it looks like a real legit Nike kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you just kind of reverse engineer it, right? Which is the goal of any independent film. Like if you're making an independent film, it needs to look like it belongs next to the Hollywood movie in the theater.
Right.
So you just kind of apply those tricks, and then you can bring a lot more value to people.
Well, now it's making a lot more sense, right? So if you invest 5, 10, 15 grand for my company with Patrick, and he makes me something that looks like 100 grand, suddenly anyone who watches that, like Tito, instead of hitting skip ad, you might be captivated.
I'm all about being entertained.
Yeah,
I'm all about being entertained.
For real? What do you mean?
If you make a commercial, just entertain me. That shit. That
Do you mean
Geico-
funny or drama or what?
No, just whatever. Like Geico and the Old Spice changed the game. I don't know who they hired.
Oh my
I
God,
don't know.
Old Spice is incredible.
Yeah, I don't know who they. I don't know what because these companies don't come up with them themselves. They find guys like him.
Right.
But like honestly, it's changed the game. There's so many commercials that pop up on YouTube now that are trying to be so silly. So silly.
it don't work.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't come off as natural. It's too almost gimmicky. So I skip ads. So I'm all for like sponsoring influencers and kind of like getting in from that back door, if you will, where you just like you entertain and you educate your consumer as to your product, as to what you're doing, as to your social work and whatnot. And I don't think commercials are the way to go anymore. You got to really like get in with the people, integrate yourself. Yeah, be entertaining, and be good at what you do. And that's how you'll get my money. That's how you'll get my money.
What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, and to Tito's point, like we don't want to watch commercials, right? But we'll watch funny, interesting stuff that flows on Instagram. Like, like it's a 15-second thing. It looks funny, like another avenue is like, I could hire one of you guys, right? Like someone comes to me, says, I need 15 videos. We want to have like a funny personality or an energetic personality, but like there's nobody in my office who's funny or energetic. It's like, all right, well, let me get like a comedian. Let's build a little thing around them. That's,
I'm available for bookings. Just saying.
In case you're wondering.
And it's, it's not even like sales direct, right? Nope. It's just like we're doing this thing that is.
What does that mean? It's not even sales direct.
We're not. There's no ask involved, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Amar's out there like, look how cool this new jacket is, right? It's like, I don't know.
Right.
My
much more subtle.
Exactly. My small marketing firm, my small investment firm, just kind of sponsored this thing that's really great and people are interacting with, and it's going to direct them back to my website or back to me as a brand. So like you're seeing this blend of individuals and personal brands and companies and corporate brands. Like all this stuff is starting to get kind of mixed up together, and you're in this like attention is everything world, right? Like however you can get that attention, you want
try and monetize that.
Yeah, exactly.
Return on your investment.
That's what gets returned, not like necessarily the
5-minute commercial for Colin Kaepernick, and it's the one and done.
Yeah, I mean Nike has the ability to spin that into a million things. Yeah, it was a great commercial.
I saw it.
Absolutely,
I saw it. But hold on. But what if you saw it in 5 different lights, in 5 different ways, over a 3-month period?
They probably did. I mean they're smart. They probably
personally didn't get me to buy Nike at all.
So there you go. You like the commercial, but
their success was in the fact that I'm like, I like Nike.
Yeah,
more
right.
respect, right?
Right? Like I like Nike. But now,
now.
what if you saw them doing another social justice thing for Black Lives Matter?
For real.
What if you saw another thing for them doing social justice around, I don't know, Palestine? What if you saw them
I'm
doing
all for that, but
Puerto
I know
Rico and the hurricane?
if they did that, that'd be great. But I know that they're gonna turn off a lot of people.
But hold on, I'm just saying forget who they turn off.
Right.
Now you're starting to look at Nike
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
I think Patrick's
Nike,
point.
the person looks
Right.
The
different.
Nike,
You know what
the
I'm
Nike
about.
account, the
Right.
Nike
Exactly.
Nike's
Instagram.
very progressive. Nike
Yeah,
very-
I think that's what Patrick is saying is like, yo, if you're gonna take a stab at something, own the shit out of it and don't just do it one time if you really want to have an impact on people's minds and you want to change your bottom line.
But I also think corporations are full of shit, dog.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a gimmick to sell you. That Colin Kaepernick was tight though because they stuck by him.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know they had his jerseys and he had I don't know what his contract was with Nike to begin with.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
it's good. I mean, and the thing about it is like, you know, they lost like a little bit like the day after, but that loss isn't gonna stick.
Where all them suburban white dudes was burning their Jordans. Fuck out of here.
Right.
Hey, go ahead. You lost 3 clients.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
lost 3 customers.
Next Christmas, your wife's gonna buy you a pair of Nike shorts. You're gonna wear that shit again.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Buy Under Armour? Whoa, okay. Wow, what a statement you made, bro.
But one I was looking at today, actually, I was reading an article about how. Did you guys see the Gillette one?
No. Oh yeah, I did
Like,
see that.
Be a man or something like.
Oh yeah,
Right.
with the
Toxic
with
masculinity.
with the
So that this article was saying.
Explain us. Set it up for
Yeah,
us.
So
what's
what
the
they were
commercial?
talking about? So yeah, it's like Gillette has always been like the best a man can get, right? And an event like this ad was kind of targeted at like bullying, toxic masculinity, like basically saying like men do better, and there was a major negative response, right? It's like like YouTube likes, right? The Nike was like 7-1 thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
The Gillette one was like 4-1 thumbs down.
Oh shit.
And what the thing was saying was 2 things. Was like one, like I just said, like Kaepernick's kind of just do it even if everyone kicks you out of the league is an extension of Nike's existing message.
Yes.
Right? Like Gillette's message isn't like, men go do stuff, right? Like they're not positioned as someone who can like tell men what to do. So people are like, you're just my razor. Right, and like
You're just my razor. Like what?
So back off. Okay?
Yeah, I like you, but I don't like you.
it's a replacement level thing, right? Like people go around, people probably got Nike tattoos on their body, right?
Sure.
Like,
Right.
we wear Nike shoes, we wear Nike hats.
Yeah.
We'll just wear like that brand as like a part of
That's
our
right.
own brand identity.
That's right.
But like we don't do that with Gillette. So
No.
like they didn't have like the currency or the brand equity to pull a move like that.
That's hilarious.
There's got to be one dude out there with a Gillette
hilarious.
tattoo.
That's
Right?
ballsy for
Yeah.
Gillette,
Yeah.
bro. That's ballsy.
Right.
Good for
So that one actually hurt them.
Yeah, that's what this article was saying.
I believe that.
Because it does come off as pandering.
Yes.
It comes off like, yo, bro, you had no stake in any game until just now because you saw what happened to Nike. At least with Nike, we like, yo, they've been on that. But yeah, they've been
Right.
on that
And he's
for
an
a
athlete,
minute.
right? Like it's just
Yeah,
a-
It connects
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it had a lot more stake. But these companies, they got to understand, unless they're like in the weeds, listening to people, that Gillette whole thing just feels like there was a team meeting and they're like, what's hot right now?
let's do this.
And then they're like, oh, like women's rights and masculinity. And they're like, cool, let's just get some company to do a thing and then go and then boom, that's what happens. 'cause
Shit
you
hit the
don't
fan,
listen.
right.
You don't
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
All right. So I'm getting much more clear now on how someone come to you and be like, yo, I want to drop a $50,000 something that looks like it's $50,000. I want to do a bunch of them on Instagram or
Yeah.
whatever. Can you help us and do it for a fraction of that, like $5,000? You're like, yo, I could do that. Because you've done music videos. You've put it on 6 spotlights. You've shot stuff in slow motion.
Absolutely.
You've been able to make
I
television.
shot shit on slow motion. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
are you talking about like this is some kind
No. Not like everybody. can
you
do
like
that.
you've done that? I'm like, bro, it's all you
You
got.
can do slow
You got a
motion.
Galaxy
We can do
S8 too, bro.
Well, and that's enough.
But my point is, you put all that together with some great writing. So you done music videos. You get how to do things like that. You're bringing all that into these possibly like Instagram or whatever videos. That's you're saying, yo, as a company, invest $5-10 in that. You're gonna get a serious return on your money.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the value becomes the creative, honestly, because to Tito's point, like we could all make something that looks really great on our iPhone right now, shoot it, edit it, put it up, be done. But when you have like whatever, whether it's a comedian, whether it's a writer, whether it's a film director, someone who has like an interesting artistic vision or, unique style, like that's the thing that can give you a little bit of edge.
Yep.
So that's where, even in the world where you can, quite frankly, do everything on your phone to some degree, the creative stays relevant, right?
Yeah.
Like the creative is the thing that sets, someone apart.
That's right. Men from the boys. Make sure you're getting ready to invest some money in the stock market, y'all. All right. Where can people find you, Patrick, if they want to connect with you?
Sure, absolutely. All over the place. I mean, our company website is digitalhydra.com, digital HYDRA. PatrickWimp.com is my website.
Personal website. Got you.
WIMP.
WIMP. On Instagram at Wimp Juice. WIMP.
Wimp Juice.
Juice.
I think that's where I got the J from. Juice.
Juice?
Yeah.
Juice.
The juice. What about you, man? Do you have
Talk
any
about Tito.
shows or anything else you'd like to plug for yourself? Tito?
Well, I host a weekly open mic in Logan Square. If you're an up and coming comic or you're interested, come to the Mozart every Thursday 8:30. Sign up 9:00 show.
It's a bar?
Yeah, the Mozart.
Mozart.
It's on Armitage in California.
8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m. I'm on a bunch of shows, like independent showcases. You can always follow me on my Instagram at Tito_Tales, TALES, Tito's Tales. Tito's Tales. I don't never say the S.
With the S?
Tito's Tales. Yeah, Tito's Tales. And I got sketches. I got interviews with other comedians. I do some dumb shit. So I hope you guys like it.
This is coming from a man who likes to be entertained.
I do love being entertained, man.
Are you not entertained?
All about it, baby. Got to keep my interest. I'm ADD like, whoa. So,
I feel you, brother.
yeah.
Hey, thank you for being here, Tito.
Yeah, man.
You the man for coming out, bro.
Thank you for
Patrick,
having me.
Hey,
thanks for coming out, brother.
Appreciate
Sharing a lot of your trade secrets with us.
That was
You got
dope.
it.
Thanks for listening, y'all. Peace.
Bye.